I'm Wendy.
I'm Steve, and this is Pippin.
And together we're the Happy Travellers.
Welcome to another finance roundup for March. So we're going to tell you what we spent in the whole of March. We spent half of it in Europe, travelling back up from Spain through France, and we spent the other half in the UK. And we like to compare and contrast what we're spending. Results are a little bit surprising to us anyway, but I think they equal out for motorhome costs and fuel costs, because we've spent weirdly on those. Anyway, we're going to crack on and go through the categories, which are fuel, LPG, ferries and tolls, motorhome costs, internet and tech, groceries, health and well-being, vets cost, miscellaneous, where we put anything we don't know what to do with, site fees and parking, and laundry. Remember the laundry fiasco. We haven't included the 12 euros, or we haven't included the 12 euros we've waiting to get back. So anyway, but here we go. So it's complicated because I'm going to give you the figures. What I'm going to do is give you the figures in pounds, aren't we?
Yes.
And then put the euro figure on screen as well. So you'll get both figures and the totals. So if you want to, you can total them up on the way. Put a comment if we make a mistake. We do sometimes. We're not accountants. And this does our head in, basically, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
It's a nightmare. Anyway, fuel costs. In Europe, so this is the first half. We give you the first half figure and the second half figure on all these. So in Europe, £406. In the UK, these are 2 week periods, pretty much. In the UK, £145.
Yep.
I'll put the euro figures on screen, and the total fuel cost in March, £551. I think that's one of the biggest amounts we've ever paid, which is a testament to the fuel prices going up, isn't it? LPG. Well, we've done okay on LPG. £11 in Europe and £17 in the UK. Plus, actually, not included in these figures, we've just filled up again. So it's a bit. We've used a bit more LPG in the UK.
It's been a bit cold, isn't it?
It has. We've put the heating on more regularly, actually. So total LPG for March, £28. F&T. What's F&T?
Ferries and tolls.
Oh, ferries and tolls. I've done some shorthand here. Ferries and tolls. Europe, because we paid for the return trip while we were in Europe, is £190, which I think that includes the June transport as well, because we're going back over in June. Now I think I've included that in there. So £190, zero in, so we haven't spent any more than that. So it's £190 for ferries and tolls, and that includes the Channel Tunnel to go back for our summer trip to Sweden, and all the tolls up and down the French motorways. Motorhome costs. We didn't spend anything on the motorhome in Europe, and we spent £487. Now, we had to get 2 new tyres. We were about 1,000 miles, maybe 1,500 miles off the limit, but you know, to be safe, just buy them a bit earlier. I know, and you know, and some people have said, "Oh, you've paid far too much." I got mine for half that price. But I think it's difficult to remotely judge what the prices should be. I've seen all sorts of prices coming through from you lovely people saying, "Oh, you should have bought these. You should have bought these." What we did is we bought the camper tyres, the Cross Climate, the Michelin, sort of the gold standard for camper tyres. At a size and width and the right tyres for the thing. Somebody said, "Oh, well, I get tyres. They're a different size to yours, and they're 110 pounds." But it's not as easy as that. It really isn't as easy as that. Plus, because we're moving around all the time, I ordered from Black Circle because they recommend where you can get them fitted, and you can't just rock up to a quick fit and get them fitted. They won't do it anyway. So £487 in total for Motorhome Costs, internet and technical. Now this includes our debit card insurance sort of payment as well, so as well as the phone and the internet and all the rest of it. £65 in Europe, £55 in the UK, so a total of £120. Groceries.
That was £191 in Europe and £153 in UK. So not much difference there.
So a total spend on groceries in March of £344.
Yes, there was. Yes.
Somebody commented about the bacon roll and 2 coffees cost. They've done this big calculation about, well, if you had that every day, you'd have to spend your entire pension on it. How much does it cost you to do it all yourself? Well, there you go. Our grocery cost is £344 in March. That's fairly standard. £290 to £400, isn't it? Three, 400 a month. Health and personal care.
That's right.
We spent £12 in Europe. I don't know what that was for some toiletries or something like that.
Yeah.
And we spent £88, and that was me again. I bought some clothing.
Yeah.
£100 in total.
Yeah.
Vets fees.
Well, that was nothing in the UK.
Well, £37 in Europe.
Yeah. So that's the best month ever.
And
yes, that's it. The total.
£0 in UK.
Yeah. So that's good.
And so that's £37 total.
Yeah. Miscellaneous. Now we've got some gifts and for family and one thing and another. That was £149 in Europe and 25 in the UK.
So that's 174 in total for the whole of March. Sites and parking.
€31.
£31.
£31. Yeah. And 56 in the UK.
And 53.
Makes 84.
Yeah. So it's £84 in total for site fees and parking.
And the laundry was €39. €39.
No, £39.
£39. That's it.
It's confusing.
Yeah,
isn't it? We've got we've got loads of figures written down.
Yeah.
£39 in Europe, 0 in the UK so far. So £39 in total for laundry. And the reason, I've got the euro figure written down, so I've calculated that. So our total in pounds for March is £2,527.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we've done that. I think it's the tyres and the almost 500 quid in fuel.
Never paid that much before.
£551 in fuel for March. You know, that's because of all the driving up and down.
We drove
Plus
from, yeah.
the increased price.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed the other
day
day
it started to go up, didn't it? Because we paid €2 in one time in
we
France.
did, yeah. I mean, I filled up at Morrison's the other day, which was the cheapest I could find. It was 80 odd quid for half a tank. So there we are. So that £2,527 or €2,879. So there we are in both currencies. People have said that's useful for you.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about going abroad, going to Europe, where euros are almost pervasive. When we go to Sweden, it's not in euros, it's in crowns, it's in Swedish crowns, which is almost a 10-to-1 ratio. You know, we say £1 is 10 crowns, more or less. It's a bit, it's towards 11 crown, but there you are. But yeah, so there we are. Aren't we spending? We've got to cut down. I don't know how we're going to do it. We tend not to spend that much. And has the cost of living gone so bad? Are you finding that?
Well, this is January and February were cheaper when we were in Europe the whole time. But then you see, when we come back to the UK, we've got to drive. We've got to have all the miles back. That's 2,000 kilometres. And then we've got motorhome expenses when we get back here because we don't have them in Europe.
Well,
and we've got more coming up, haven't we?
In June this year, we are with the vans. The van's going to be 5 years old at the end of this year. So we're having. I'm moving the MOT to the same time as the major service, so we do the service in June now rather than in October, because the insurance comes in October as well. So that's 1,500 quid. So we're going to move the MOT and the service. So an additional cost in June is going to be the 5-year cam belt change. So you have to have it done at, I think, 60,000 miles or 5 years, whichever is sooner, because they deteriorate with age apparently. And thinking about what would happen if you don't change it. Well, if you don't change it and it breaks, that's going to be a new engine, which, you know, 10 grand, you know, that's what it costs to put a new engine in. So
how many miles will we have done? How many miles has the van done?
26,000. We had the new tyres fitted. 26,088 miles with the new tyres. So that's I don't know. I mean, people say, "Oh, my tyres last me for 10 years." Well, they shouldn't. In the first place, tyres deteriorate with age, and they shouldn't be left on the van unless you store them correctly. I think if you leave them on the van and it's sitting the side, we don't, and that's one of the benefits of having camper tyres. If you're sat for a long time, camper tyres have stronger sidewalls and can resist the pressure, the cracking pressure on the sidewall, which, you know, gives me a bit more confidence. But there we are.
Be interesting to see how April does for the whole month in the UK. So,
yeah, one whole month. What we're thinking about doing is giving you a weekly spending update. Keep us on our toes. And give you a bit more information about how we're living, what we're spending, whether we're spending too much, and maybe you can comment. and tell us we're a bit spendthrifty, or whether we are being careful. I don't know. I thought we were being careful, but £2,500 a month on not much at all was shocking, really. That's just normal living.
I know. I
hate
know,
that.
Yeah.
I almost wish we hadn't done this.
I know. I'm gonna really try hard in April. Think about every penny.
Wendy's good at that. I'm not. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this and you're learning something, or it's giving you some information. But we'll see you again in the next one. Bye bye for now.
Bye bye, everyone.